guys. Hey, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope everyone is having a good Friday. It's a little cool here in Louisiana. Also, we woke up. It's homecoming weekend. It's homecoming week. Which means, people's going around. Some of the kids are going around toilet paper in people's houses and things such as that. Our house was toilet paper TP'd the other day. Not that bad. But Lord, this morning we woke up and our house was covered. They literally used a whole, like 20 pack of toilet paper on our house. It was wild. Not only did they do that, but they had got caution tape. They got saran wrap. So it was a lot. I've got to say I've unfollowed everyone else. Oh, thank you, Casey. I'm so irritated and bothered that this story has just gotten muddied down so bad. Like for the creators that want to constantly talk about the drama of this story, like Unirock, the story needs to be focused on Marvin, what happened to him, how he's doing. It definitely doesn't need to be on creator, whatever, it's irritating, and the focus needs to be on Marvin. It got to the point where I feel like I couldn't even cover Marvin, or I couldn't even talk about the topic anymore because I was being accused of being like a trauma vulture or like covering it for money, la-di-da-di-da. So I kind of left it alone for a little bit, just thinking, you know what? And this was a conversation that people like to have because their life was so public. It was basically like Marvin and Dre McCray basically had a reality show on social media, essentially. They filmed everything about their life almost. So when this happened and Dre McCray did not tell her following, her 600K following, that her husband was in the hospital in a coma, she didn't tell them for 8 days. When she didn't tell them, and then she finally told them 8 days later, it was very strange. And then she told them that he was in a coma due to seizures. At first, everyone believed her, right? Because why would they not believe her? They have watched Dre McCray for years alongside her husband, Marvin, seeming to be a happy couple, So when she said, oh, he's in a coma due to seizures, everyone knew that he had been having seizures. It was believable. But then the family came out trying to get some answers and wasn't getting any answers from Dre, his wife. So they did a little digging, found out that he was actually in the hospital in a coma due to trying to, off himself. Which, when that information came out, then everyone started questioning Dre, why did you lie? Then everyone started going back and watching, all these lives that they had done over the years. And people started picking up on things that back then that they didn't really pick up on or didn't seem too questionable back then. But after, hearing that he was in a coma, because he was trying to off himself, things looked a little bit more suspicious, right? Audio came out of them getting into fights, of him begging to just leave. He just wanted to leave and go stay in a hotel for a little bit until he could get, himself together, until he could, go to the VA and get everything taken care of and, get his mental health back on track. And, she wouldn't give him the funds to leave, or he wasn't allowed to have a phone. She took his phone when she found out that he was talking to old friends about, his predicament. When she found out that he was talking to it wasn't even a girl, he was talking to an old guy friend. From my understanding, someone he was in the military with that he had not talked to in quite some time. He ended up reconnecting with a couple of old buddies, telling one of them that, he was not doing well, that his marriage was on the rocks. And when she found that out, she took his phone from him. Due to him having seizures, he couldn't drive. So anywhere that he needed to go, he would have had to take an Uber, right? But he didn't have access to any money. So when they would fight, he would beg to leave, want to leave. Even if he got to the place where he could leave, he always had to come right back, but he didn't have enough money to stay anywhere else. So the thing is because there's so many videos out there that people were going back and finding, this was a discussion. Like, even when people didn't have updates, people wanted to talk about it. People wanted to talk about that one video where this was said, or, Marvon was raised by his mother, Miss Letitia, as well as his grandmother. So, Miss Letitia, she had him when she was young. She went through some hardships, and ultimately he was raised by his grandmother. And when Miss Letitia came out wanting to try to see her son, when Marvon Sr. came out wanting to see his son, what most parents would do, I think, if they're not getting answers from the wife, you would take any avenue that you could. So the avenue that they turn to is social media. They're not being able to find out where their son is at, what hospital is he at. Marvon Sr. managed to find out, drives the however long it took him. I don't even remember how many hours it took them to drive there, but he drives and he gets there, and she says, put him out. He's not allowed to see Marvon. Security, remove him. Thankfully, the hospital said he can see him. You can't tell us who can see him, and he's allowed visitors, so he can visit. He can visit Marvon. He can visit his son. But once that visit was over, Dre immediately had him moved. So they did the best thing that they knew to do, which was they took to social media to try to get answers, to try to get help, to try to make this story big, so there would be some pressure put on Dre. I think they probably felt like if Dre saw tons of people, YouTubers covering this, saying it's not right that you're not letting his people see him. It's not right. That maybe she then would say, she would cave to the pressure. So I get why they did what they were doing. They didn't know what else to do. They didn't know where else to turn. People are putting, people were putting out that Letitia just up and left Bond when he was a baby and never looked back, but that's not what happened. There's so much misinformation about this story, and I know, like, there were times I wanted to go live because I saw another video, with Dre and Marvon, and I caught something that was said, and I was like, I kind of want to go live and, like, play this and talk about it, but then people were coming at us for going live to talk about it, So then I made this decision that I would only go live and talk about Marvon if there were updates. And we did. There's a few updates out there, you guys, so I've wondered, over the weeks, like, are we going to hear anything else? Are we going to hear? It's hard to get invested in someone else's life and then just never hear anything else, So there were several creators that brought this story to the forefront and got so many people invested in Marvon and his story and in his life. So I think it's only fair that when there is any amount of an update, even if somebody wants to jump on their channel for 10 minutes to say, hey, here's the update, I know you guys want to know what it is. So I think Molly and Justin gave a few updates the other day on a live. And there's a few things that I'm hearing, you guys. So one thing that we did hear is that the hospital finally said, listen, there's really nothing we can do. If you want, you can take him home and you can take care of him. And Dre said, okay. So she took him home. She took Marvon home. And I'm sure she probably got him like a hospital bed and everything that he needs to be taken care of at home. More than likely, there was probably like a hospice type of situation. There was probably a nurse that came in to help on some days. And I don't have this information for sure. This is me speculating as far as if they had any help from nurses. But I just don't think that they would let her take him home and not set him up on some sort of program where a nurse would come and show Dre, how to change his this and how to do that and how to do this. So she would know how to properly take care of him, right? So at some point he was sent home to, for Dre to take care of him. Not sure how long that lasted, but from what I'm hearing, at some point she decided this is too difficult for me. I can't really take care of him at home anymore. It's just too much pressure. And she put him in a long-term facility. This is all what is being said, you guys, that he came home for a while and then he was put into a long-term facility. Um, it definitely blows my mind that they would send him home. But there was nothing else the hospital could do. I mean, other than changing things out. Obviously he was probably like had like a catheter and things that so he wouldn't use the bathroom on himself because he was just in a vegetative state, essentially. Thank you, baby. It's usually the family members that has to take care of the patient. Thank you so much. I was thinking more than likely once he left, they probably had someone come to the home to show her how to do everything, how to keep things running smoothly, how to do this, how to do that. And even if it only happened once, they probably had somebody come in and teach her the correct way to change things out. I figured it could be a slim possibility that they may have a nurse come in once a week or something like that. But from my understanding, you would have to pay for that. So, we know that Dre made her income through being a social media influencer as well as through paparazzi. And she made a really good living for herself and for her family. No, I don't talk to Dre. I don't talk to Dre. This is just hearsay of what we're hearing. So, I mean, there was this not a pay stub, but a screenshot that she posted on her Facebook from back in 2021, January 2021, where she made the month of January over $900,000 between her social media pages and her paparazzi. Like she had a goal to make $1 million, and it was like 900. And she posted this, whether or not, and she did really good. I mean, she had 600,000 followers on Facebook. She had a few YouTube channels. And let me tell you, you can make a ton of money through, social media. She was one of the top sales representatives through paparazzi. So she was making a very large income. Now, when all of this happened, she wasn't on social media as much. And even more so when this story started getting covered. It ended up to where she would only go live with a select few of people, and it was a very private live, literally like 10 or 12 people that she really trusted. She would go live for them, but she stopped doing these really big live streams where she had, thousands of people on, keeping up with her life. So her income dropped drastically over the past few months after this situation happened. So, no, it was like 900. I was trying to see if I can find that screenshot. I had all of them, but I ended up deleting them a while back, which I did show them on one of my streams because her goal was to make $1 million in 1 month. Which, that would make a lot of more sense. That could potentially be I remember the thing said my goal was to make $1 million this month, and I was so close. So I took that as through her sales of paparazzi and through her social media. But it could have potentially been her team sales. That would make a lot more sense. Either way, she was making a ton of money through paparazzi. She was making a ton of money through her Facebook lives. She had YouTube channels. So financially, she was well. But then she had to stop going live because every time she would go live, somebody would record it. People was in there, saying things that she didn't like. So she ended up stopped going live only for a few select people she would go live for. And that obviously messed with her income. Question, is she feeding him? If she's still giving him unauthorized medicine, that herbal stuff is probably all he is getting from her. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna. I'm willing to say that, in my opinion, that she is probably back on, she's always kind of strayed away from like modern medicine. When she got into this like cleaner lifestyle, what she would say, because we saw videos of her back before that where they were sneaking across the border to get Xanax, you know. So when you tell people, well, she didn't take medicine, well, we saw her talking about Xanax. Well, at one point she did. She would take Xanax and things like that, but then she started this herbal lifestyle, this, alkaline lifestyle. And then it got to where she didn't want anyone in her family taking medication. So she would do, my mind is going blank, but what was that she was giving him when he would have seizures? Cayenne pepper. She would, stick that in his mouth. So more than likely, if he is home, or the period that he was home, I feel like that's probably what they were doing, what she was doing. She was probably giving him cayenne pepper and God knows what else. She was making medical decisions for him before this even happened. Carlita, I do remember it was for the month of January. So it may have been her whole team, and it may have been for paparazzi, but it was for the month of January. And I had the screenshot. I'll go back and find it, but I'm pretty sure it was for that 1 month, because I remember the caption was, I wanted to make 1 million in a month. And I was like, who the heck can make 1 million in a month? And then it was like 900, and I was like, holy smokes. Like, she did it. Like, she got very close. Might as well say that she did it, She admitted Vaughn would have seizures when withdrawing from Xanax. I think that's exactly why he was having them. Yeah, because from my understanding, withdrawals from Xanax can cause you to have seizures, right? I mean, there was a video that was floating around, where she said she was responsible for him having seizures. I agree, Helen, yeah. So, this came out not too long ago. Somebody was able to get this. This is one of Dre McCray's admins. It says, hey, everyone. It has been almost 5 months since the horrible incident happened to Vaughn and Dre and these babies. Times are hard as well. Gas prices are high. Food is expensive. And Dre made her money online and hasn't been able to get online because of all the harassment and verbal abuse caused by these creators. I will be posting her PayPal and the link to her landing page if anyone would like to help. I'm sure anything would help right now, and if you don't have it to give, send a prayer up for her family. Have a blessed Friday. So, I'm so sorry, Heather. My daughter has seizures. You cannot ever just stop taking any benzos. Heather, I hope you get that situation. I hope you get that under control. So this was what one of her admins posted, asking people to donate to Dre and the family. It is a super sad situation because I don't think the father has gotten the girls. From my knowledge, he has not gotten the girls. I don't even know. I don't, yeah. I've heard nothing about whether or not he's gotten the girls. But it is a sad situation when you think about the children, because there are 3 children now living in a house that potentially is bringing in no money to help take care of them. So it's, it's like, on one hand, you don't want Dre to be able to profit off of, in my personal opinion, feel like Dre became very controlling over Marvin. I feel like, for a grown man who served in the military, he was honorably discharged from the military. And I think it was in 2018. He had a surgery. Something happened in the surgery. He won a lawsuit. From my understanding, the lawsuit was, he got a good amount in the lawsuit. Bama Beauty, why would my name be green today? That is because you are a member. Somebody actually bought you a membership the other day, I think. If you didn't buy it, someone bought it for you. And over the past 2 days, I've had a couple people gift memberships. I think in total, there was like 15 gifted memberships over the past few days. So I think you actually gifted one. So, in my personal opinion, I went back and watched so many videos of Dre. And when she was heavier set, I liked her, going back and watching her. I enjoyed watching her. I thought she was hilarious. I was like, I could see what the appeal was and why people liked her. But then she started changing, it seemed. Um, a little bit more controlling, and then we find out that, they're having marital problems, which whatever, everybody does. I mean, me and Sean, we have our arguments and everybody thinks we're perfect. You know what I'm saying? We're not. We even have our problems, you know. Um, Let me write that down. So this was back in that was back in 2021 when that receipt came up. So um, I'm not going to fault them for having their struggles. We heard audio of, them arguing and her really gaslighting the heck out of that man. I mean, he couldn't do anything right. He was wrong with everything. She convinced him that he had PTSD. She did not like for him to have friends. And when he finally reconnected with an old friend and told this old friend about his problems, she found out, took his phone, made a big deal about it, that he was talking to someone behind her back. It literally, I was like, wait, was it a female that he was talking to? And it was like, no, it was a male. It was one of his old buddies from the military. And I was like, what? I could understand, being hurt that your husband went to one of his buddies to say, man, me and my wife are having some problems. It happens. It probably isn't the best. You probably shouldn't do it. Involving anyone in your marriage is probably not the best idea. But it happens. A lot of people do it. And it's not a malicious thing towards your spouse to do it. It's just you need to go to somebody to talk. So when she found out, though, she saw the messages. She took the phone. He wasn't allowed to have the phone. He wasn't allowed to have access to, bank cards, bank statement, any money in the bank, debit cards, anything like that. And she would sometimes sneak off to the store when the kids were asleep and get a donut, something that was not on their list of foods that they could eat, right? Because they were on these diets. But she kept everyone else on a very strict diet. Raza would draw pictures of chips and meat, and he asked, "Can you just show me a picture of meat?" And so she kept everybody else on a very strict diet. Her daughter, who was 14 years old at the time, lost 20 pounds. When you're 14 years old, you should be gaining weight, not losing weight. Everybody in that family, well, her oldest daughter, Dre, and Vaughn all lost weight. They looked very unhealthy. I mean, Vaughn went from a very nice looking man to looking like he was in his 50s after he lost so much weight. I'll show you guys pictures. It's very crazy. So I think Marvin just felt like he was in a situation that he could not get out of, and he didn't know what else to do. And I think he made this irrational choice, decision, not really thinking about it. He made this decision to do this, to try to off himself. And I think he just was under a lot of pressure, and felt like he was trapped. She wouldn't answer, had an man answer me to tell me not to ask questions. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I could not send her anything. She should have put some money back. She needs to get a job. I know probably sound mean, but that's just how I feel. That's the thing. That's the thing is, on one hand, I'm like, oh, I feel bad. There's kids over there. But at the same time, she could get a job. She could get a job because Marvin is now in a long-term care facility. The kids can go to regular school, which is something that she don't want to do. But you may have to. You may have to and get a regular job. Also, she made her money from other people going bankrupt because of her MLM. She had a huge downline. Oh, wow. Really, Summer? Oh, I just read that. So back in the day when she was a heavier set, she was still a nasty, B-I-S-H, bish, bish. I messaged her asking for advice on fibromyalgia because she claimed that she had it. And her admin message back saying, don't ask questions. Wow, that's really wild. That is very rude. I'm trying to find some pictures of him when he was heavier set, and then versus when he was because the difference is just jaw dropping, y'all. It's jaw dropping. You have this man, like in the thumbnail. The picture that you guys saw in the thumbnail is what he looked like right out of the military. And he was a very nice looking guy. Okay, let me see. So I have found this one. It's just, okay. So there's Dre in the back with blue hair. This is when she was heavier set. Marvin is on the right. Now half of his face is kind of, you can't see it. He's wearing the gray shirt, right? Very nice looking, handsome guy. I have to find the one of him where he's like super skinny. Can't see it there. Where is it? Come on. Okay, if anybody in Discord has a picture, I literally just deleted all my pictures not too long ago because my phone was full. Here's Dre right here. This is Dre. She was a makeup artist too. This is Dre without her makeup. Let's see if her page is still up. It probably isn't. No, yep, there she is. Oh, well, you know what? Here's a good way to... Okay, so here he is after all the weight loss. Both of them. Yeah, they both look like they were starving. He literally aged 30 years. Hey, Mama 30. I don't know. We've been on for 27 minutes. It's okay, though. So, this is after they lost all the weight. It's astounding. If I'm not mistaken, the picture you showed is from the last time he got to hang out with his buddies. I would not be shocked. Yeah, more than likely she is getting his military benefits, I'm sure. So, let's go back a little bit. See all photos. This photo right here, I think from my understanding, this photo was taken when he was in the hospital. She was still doing her makeup every day, posing for photos. Jeez, y'all. I mean, look how skinny she got. She was so much prettier when she was a little heavier. She really was. Yeah, when you lose weight so fast, your hair falls out, you're doing it wrong. I'm so sorry, Zen. I'm so sorry. I'm keeping you in my prayers. Okay, let's see. Let me pull up Discord really quickly. Thank you. Thank you for this. Save image. Unable to save. Wow. All right, let's see if y'all can see this. Let me see. Somebody just sent me a comparison picture. Let me see if I can get that up really quickly. It's weird. It's not pulling it out. So I also heard that. So I also hear, also what they're saying, I can't get that, but we're going to go back to the Facebook and go, I don't know why. This is such a good then and now, but it's not showing up like that one did. Oh, I bet I know what I can do. Maybe not. That's not going to work. Okay. So I also heard that it's also being said that she is going to stay in Yuma, Arizona until, something happens with Vaughn. So he is in a long-term care facility, and she's going to stay there until he, passes away. Until he passes away, or which that's, the option of anything else is very slim to none. But she's saying, like, until he recovers or until he passes away, I'm going to stay here. And then whatever happens, then she plans on moving, apparently. That's what's being said. And then I know his dad, Miss Wynette, had told Molly and Justin that, he hadn't heard anything, that he was still trying to figure out what was going on because he wants to see his son. And my thing is, if he's in a long-term care facility, why not just, and he's more than likely not going to make it. Why not just let his family go up there and have a few, some time with him? Why not? Oh, that's so sweet, Zion. When I got sick with autoimmune disease and my hair was thinning, but when I got COVID for the first time, I started losing a bunch. Yeah, I started losing a bunch of hair as well, and I think it was after COVID, and I heard that was one of the things that happened. I'm hearing this from a few different people, which I did text Justin to say, like, hey, this is what I'm hearing. This is what y'all are hearing. And this is my thing is I don't feel comfortable coming on all the time, talking about the situation unless there are some updates. This is what's being put out there. So I felt to all the people that's been invested in this story to just be left hanging. Like, well, nobody's talking about it anymore. Nobody's doing videos on it anymore because God forbid they do. Then you got other creators attacking them and calling them like trauma vultures and everything. So people have gotten to where they're not even really talking about it unless there is an update. And when I heard it, I was like, I want to make sure all the people that listens on my end, here's what I'm hearing, which I will always say, this is what we're hearing. I thought his family was allowed to visit. It's been... So Miss Letitia did have... she got to visit twice, I think. But I don't think they're getting to visit anymore. From my understanding, they don't even know where he is. Why can't the family transport Vaughn to long-term care facility near Letitia and Vaugh's dad? Because the wife makes all the medical decisions. His wife, Dre, is the only one allowed to make any medical decisions for him. Exactly. It's not like he can talk and tell his family what really happened to him if that's what if that's what scares her. Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's gonna wake up and be like, hey, so this is what happened, or whatever. And I just feel like he would want to see his family. I feel like if he could let us know anything, it would be, I would like my family to see me. His family was allowed to visit under stipulations, yes. So she put a lot of stipulations on Miss Letitia when she visited. Miss Letitia was not allowed to tell Mr. Marvin Sr. where Vaughn was even at. She couldn't take photos. She couldn't video. Did Letitia send her grandkids money for clothes like she sent Molly's money for her son? I don't even think she knows where her grandkids are. But I do remember Miss Letitia saying at one point that she did send stuff, but I don't know if this was before or after. But that was not Miss Letitia. That was Miss Wynette and Marvin Sr. So that was, because I was actually watching when that happened. That was Miss Wynette. So that was Vaughn's stepmom, I guess you could say. And I think it was $100 for school clothes, I think. Don't quote me on that because I don't really remember. And that was to show her appreciation, because of everything that... Here's the thing. The family wanted this story out because they didn't know where to turn. All they knew is that Marvin was in a coma. He had tried to off himself. His wife was lying about it to all her thousands of followers. And so they had some people set up Facebook pages. And these people on the Facebook pages started asking YouTubers to cover it because they wanted it to get picked up on YouTube, right? So those Facebook pages reached out to a few bigger creators. Christina Randall, I heard, was one of them. I heard that she didn't want to cover it. But Molly Golightly was one that said she would cover it. Justice for All. And then I covered it. Yeah, Dre probably would have sent the money back if so. Yeah, that's probably true. Because, I mean, I don't think she would take anything from them. He was excited to he was excited to see his family. There was a video of him he's like, I can't wait to get back out there. From my understanding, that's why he bought the camper. It was so when he went to visit his people, they could just stay in the camper. Yeah, Sherry said, my husband stopped having a relationship with his family for 25 years. He has no regrets, so I don't know what he wants. So Vaughn had been kind of estranged from his family, but it wasn't for 25 years. I think it was more along the lines of like maybe 6 or 7. However, he had reconnected with them. He had went and seen them. He had been speaking on the phone to them. And in a video, he was so happy in that video. He's like, I got to talk to my mom. I talked to my sister because I got some sisters on that side. I talked to an aunt. He was like, I can't wait to get back out there and see them. So he had reconnected with his family, which I get what you're saying. From what I'm hearing, from what I heard, she is staying back in Yuma until, whatever happens with him. If he wants to see them before, then she should let him see. That's what a lot of people think. Well, I remember that it was said that she got like a little under 20K. It was said she got a little under 20K. I'll try to redo this, but I don't exactly remember the numbers. But I did see them. She got a little bit under 20K, but we'll just put 20K. She refunded about 4K. Oh, what was it? She refunded about 4K. She went twice. So I think she flew once and then she drove once. I think they said about 2K. She stayed in the Airbnb, I think. And then her total lawyer fees, I think, was $8,200, if I'm not mistaken. There was another 4K somewhere that had to be. Where there was another 4K that I'm missing that went to something. Oh, so that's 5,800. It was 87 for lawyers. Okay, so it was about 20K. It was a little under 20K, but I'm just gonna put 20K. We got the 4,000 that she refunded because she did refund $4,000. We'll say 2K for it was not Letitia. It was Miss Wynette, and Miss Wynette even spoke about that later on. It was 2K. We'll just say 2K for travel, 87 for the lawyers. Yes, I'm pretty sure it was $100, and it was absolutely Miss Wynette. I can go look for the video. Well, does anybody have a clip of that? Because I know it was a big deal was made out of that. And that was just, oh, and I know that for sure that it was Miss Wynette because I talked about that one night on the live stream, and Miss Wynette was in my chat. Miss Wynette said it was, because I said that was just an appreciation token for what, Molly was doing, bringing this to the forefront and helping them out so much. It was just her doing an appreciation token. That's what it was. It wasn't her paying Molly for anything. It wasn't Molly getting some of the money, because I was accused of them paying me. I never received any money from them. I actually donated to Marvin Sr. as well as Miss Letitia. I donated to both of them. It was absolutely Wynette because she was in my chat that day when I was talking about it, and I was explaining because people made it into this huge thing. And then I think Unirock said that she sent $500, and I was like, no, it was not $500, and it was just an appreciation token. I mean, if somebody did this for you and your stepchild, your husband's son, who he had just reconnected with, and they put this story out there, and then you're like, well, let me do something. And let me tell you, Letitia didn't need that. I mean, Molly didn't need that money to help for Jake's schooling. She just bought Jake a car. Molly has money. But it was an appreciation token because she didn't know what else to do to show her that she appreciated her. Need something.
Is Caden's seat already paid for?
No. When she picks it up, I gotta send her the money.
Okay.
Are they going right now to get it?
Yeah.
Just tell her to have her Cash App card on her.
Okay.
Sorry guys. Yes, and people was calling her lawyers, long distance to see if it was really her lawyers. Exactly. Yep. Literally, her lawyer was doxxed. I mean, it was just a way to say thank you for what you're doing for us. So I know there was a 4,000 somewhere else. Okay, so 20K minus 4K for the refunds, minus 2K for travel, minus the 87. That's 5,300 that's left over. However, she still has, there's 4,000 somewhere else. Does anybody else remember? There's another 4,000 at play here for something. What was that? Either way, if you say that 4,000 was still in there, that's 5,300 that's left that she can hold on to in case she gets to go back, because that's what their hope is, that they'll continue to be able to go see him. Yeah, I remember Miss Wynette saying her discussions with the lawyer all happened over the phone, and she was charged for those phone calls. And that might be some sort of misunderstanding, but from my understanding, I remember hearing Miss Letitia say, every time I talk to my lawyer, I have to, it's through over the phone, and I am charged for those phone calls. It's not only when I meet in person; it's even if it's a phone call that I talk to him. I'm charged for those phone calls. So Just curious, how did people find out anyone sent Molly money to begin with? That don't seem to me to be. Because Molly was on a live. Molly was live and she goes, "Oh, Miss Juanette." She was like, "You didn't have to." She goes, "Miss Juanette just sent me some money for Jake's school." If this was them paying her, she wouldn't have said anything. You know, you know, she opened it live. Yeah, she was live when she got it. Um, which maybe I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I mean, if people are constantly blowing up an attorney's office, you know, every 5 seconds, um, I mean, their time is valuable. I thought she had two lawyers in two different states. From my understanding, she does have two lawyers. Um, at one time, I think she may have had three or had the potential to have three. I'm not exactly sure because I don't talk to Miss Letitia. I've only talked to her, you know, on streams before. So I don't know as much as that information. But what I will say, I think it's not nice. This is a real family. You know, this is real life. Um, that's going through this trauma. They had just reconnected again with their son, and things were going great. And then you hear that he's in a coma. And you hear that he's in a coma through social media. It ain't even from the wife calling you to say, "Oh my gosh, let me tell you what happened." You hear through social media that your son is in a coma. And then you hear that he's in a coma due to seizures. So you say, "Okay, let me get in touch with the wife. Let me see if I can go see him. What can I do to help?" Yeah, I can't answer every question because I don't know. I mean, I'll answer what I can, but there's no way for me to know conversations that were had with the lawyers, what all lawyers that because I never felt that it was my business. Because you want to know something? Here's the thing. Miss Wynette doesn't know me that well. I don't know her that well. Miss Wynette doesn't know all these people on YouTube. You know, could you imagine? You know, if you try to get your story out there and you have all these people inboxing you, who's your lawyer? You're going to be like, "What? I don't know you." I mean, one person found out who one of the lawyers was and made it public, you know, because you can't trust people. Not everybody's good people. Not everybody's nice. People will take something and they will twist it and turn it. And, you know, and what I can say, and I do know this for sure, is when the story first came out there, it was not, "Let's donate for a lawyer." That happened a little bit later when people started saying, "Well, maybe she needs to get a lawyer. Maybe she should get a lawyer to help her get some sort of rights to see her son." Never was it you were donating strictly for a lawyer. Never was it that. Never was it you were donating strictly for an attorney. It was to help with the situation. Travel. It's going to be costly. So if you want to help, nobody ever held a weapon up to anybody saying you must help. And I have watched so many of these videos, you know, to see because that's what it was said. Well, it was supposed to be for a lawyer. And then we don't even know if she got a lawyer. No, it was never said it is strictly for a lawyer. It was Molly said I'm most positive it was either 28 or 38 just for the bill. She got to talking for lawyers, plus the people calling. That's so sad. How mature. Yeah, I mean, if I found out that a bunch of people that I didn't know was calling my lawyer, I'd be ticked off. I'd be like, that is none of y'all's business. You know? Um, yeah, they gave a lot of money as well. I know Molly and Justin gave a lot of money. Um, I mean, attorneys are not cheap. The whole situation. I mean, this is a real life situation. This is not some little game on YouTube. This is not, it should have never been made into a big situation like it was. I mean, I've never seen any proof that anything was a fraud. And let me tell you, um, Candy, feel free to boot anybody that you feel. Candy has been Candy is literally one of my oldest mods, and she is not rude unless she feels the rudeness coming to her. And I know people have questions, but I think people have to have the understanding that I'm just a YouTuber that has covered this. I've never been in the same room as Miss Letitia, and I've never had a one-on-one conversation with Miss Letitia unless it was, I think, on Molly's panel one time. Marvin Sr. was on Molly, called in one time, and I had a discussion with him live. I've never talked to these people behind the scenes. I don't know them. I just know their story, and my heart breaks for the story. My heart breaks that Marvin was in such a state of unwellness that he felt the need to try to leave this earth. If anybody, my lives are always chill. Yeah, I can only say what I know. I mean, I don't know what answers you want, but I can only tell you what I know. I donated money for a lawyer, and they went and got their nails done and got an expensive steak. There was a problem. So how do you know they used your money for their nails and a steak? And can you reference me to where they were saying the money was only for a lawyer? Because I know everything that I've watched is there's going to be travel involved because she had to travel. This was her journey to where he was at was hours. I think it was like days, like a couple day drives, like 20 hours or something. Gas, food on the way, hotels, Airbnbs or wherever they were going to stay. And then an attorney. I think anytime you have a situation like this where it's going to take, someone's going to be driving 20 hours or flying, and you want to help for the cause, that money, if you say only use this for a lawyer, there's no way they could do that. There is no way, the $50 that you send to that Cash App can only be used for that lawyer when it's coming in with hundreds of other dollars that is just for the cause. And I know myself, because I saw this, Molly said, where do you want to eat tonight? There's a nice little restaurant called something something. I'm sending you $100, get you a nice steak dinner. Did Miss Letitia ever say I had a steak dinner off of somebody else's money? But I know that Molly sent her money on probably 2 or 3 occasions for dinner. So more than likely, if she bought a steak dinner, it could have potentially been with the money that Molly sent. Molly sent them out for a nice meal more than once. Well, I think you just have to really put it into perspective. What's your damage, Heather? Okay, put it into perspective, Heather. Okay, say it's you, all right? And something, God forbid, happened to one of your family members, and you got to drive cross country 20 hours to see them, right? So your friends start a GoFundMe, or your friends start asking people to donate to you, right? So you're getting all these donations. You're getting $20, $30, $40, $30. Does that mean before you go, you can't run by, maybe get you some fake press-on nails? Or maybe she already I don't know if she got her nails done. I don't know. But maybe she paid for her nails. But that still didn't mean that, in my opinion, if I had to drive cross country, would I have done my nails? No. Would I have spent the money on that knowing that I was going to have to? No, I wouldn't. But some people are real particular about their nails and they get them done every 2 weeks, and maybe that's what it is. Nail thing, I'm not even really going to discuss that because I don't know about that. I've never seen any proof that she got her nails done. As far as the steak dinner, I did hear her one time say that she had a nice steak dinner. And I also heard earlier that day, Molly said, I'm sending y'all $100 for a nice steak dinner. So just put yourself in that situation. What is your damage? Can I call you Heather? That's a long name. So just put yourself in that situation. And a family member, 20 hours away, got hurt. A close family member. And this is their son, that they have reconnected with. And say you needed to go see him. And all your friends came together to start donating money to you. And you're just getting it in. With these little notes. I mean, somebody was like, um, I'm sending you this because of what KJ did to you. Prayers for Vaughn. Prayers. I mean, did you, in your note, did you say this is for a lawyer? I mean, even if you did, honestly, it's going to get lost. You know what I'm saying? On who sent what. I mean, this is a woman who's literally in her mind thinking, my son may never come out of this. And his wife is not talking to me. I have no idea to know what's happening here. And she stays away, never getting an update. So you're states away from your family member who's in a coma. You're not getting any updates. You're just deciding on your own, I'm going up there. I got to get answers. You're not even being told any updates. Could you imagine as a mother knowing that your son is in a coma and you can't even call to say what's going on with him right now? What's happening with him right now? Is he okay right now? I mean, as a mother, I can't even imagine a second going by without knowing how my son is. She couldn't ask. She wasn't getting no information, you know? So she decides, I'm going to go. Miss Letitia never asked anybody to donate, from my understanding. I've watched so much coverage of this and went back and watched videos to see if I could ever find Miss Letitia asking for money. And I remember watching Molly one night, and Letitia called her and said, I just can't sit by anymore waiting. I'm going. Me and my husband decided we're going. We've actually just packed our bags. We're jumping in the car and we're going. And Molly was literally on a live stream and said, oh my God, y'all, they're going. It's a 20-something hour drive. Let's help them. Let's help them. So people started donating. She put her Cash App up there. You know, people started donating. I never once remember Miss Letitia saying, can you guys help me out? It was nothing like, she asked for prayers. I do remember her asking for prayers. But it was never one of these things where she was begging for money. Now, Molly was like, if you can, let's help her out. Let's help her out. Yeah, you know, okay. We aren't getting answers about a lawyer here or anywhere else because I don't know much about a lawyer. All I know is she has a lawyer. I think she has two. I think her bill was over $8,000 up until a couple months back. That's what she had stated. There was a few people that saw the receipts for that, people that she trusted. The thing is, yeah, go ahead and boot her because I don't know what is she going to do. I mean, I don't know. Report you to YouTube. YouTube is so lax on I mean, they leave it up to your. Here's the thing for YouTube. This is a platform. It's not a publishing place. It is a platform. You know, for us to do. Now they have rules, but it's not like if OFMI gets sassy with you, they're gonna block the mod. That doesn't happen. It's really not that serious. I can't answer many questions about the lawyer because I just don't know. I really don't know. She has lawyers. That's all I know. I know she's paid over $8,000 way back when. She's probably paid more now. I don't know. So, but I will try to be respectful with anybody as long as they're respectful. You know, like saying, well, we're not getting answers here. That's kind of rude to me because I'm giving you the best that I can. My video was to talk about what I knew about Vaughn. He's in long-term care, is what we're hearing. He did get sent home from the hospital that he was in to Dre's house, to his home. Dre was supposed to take care of him. After a while, Dre said, I can't. It's too hard. She put him in long-term care. They have started fundraising basically for Dre, for her to pay her bills. And she has said, I'm going to stay in Yuma until something happens. Either he gets better or he passes, and then we're out of here. So that's, you know, that was my update. Anything else, I don't really know. If you feel the need to know every detail of the donations, I don't know. I'm not a troublemaker. I just know I did see it from my own eyes, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know if Molly seen it. I don't know who the person was. I saw that. Saw what, Ashley? Y'all, Nana's not drunk. Facts. So yeah, I'm just saying, you know, put yourself in your predicament where you're like, I need answers. I need to go. That night though, I watched. I watched as Miss Letitia called and said, Molly, I can't take it anymore. We're going. And it was late at night when she made the decision to drive. They were going to drive through the night. Her husband was going to drive first, and then when her husband got to where he couldn't drive, she was going to start driving. Was it Tucson and not Yuma? So she was like, I don't want to stop anywhere. I want us to go straight there. So Molly said, let's help them if you can. If you can, let's help. Molly immediately sent money. Justin immediately sent money. You know, and then other people was like, oh my gosh, here, you know, let me help. So if you're Miss Letitia and you start getting this money through Cash App to help, it's not like you can be like, oh, well, this is Candy just sent me 50 and it says just for the lawyer, so I got to make sure Candy's particular $50 goes to the lawyer and I don't accidentally, it's all going to be put together. So when she transfers it to a bank account or if she just starts using that Cash App card, if your particular money just so happened to pay for them to eat that night, that's not her fault. She has to eat. What I do know is Molly sent her money more than once for a dinner, and she even said a steak dinner. She said for a steak dinner, you know. So if they decided to use that money for a steak dinner, that's what Molly gave it to them. And I watched that, and I also watched people twist that. I also watch YouTubers twist that and say that Molly said that Letitia could use the donations for a steak dinner if she wanted to. Molly never said that. Molly said that Miss Letitia could take her donation and use it for a steak dinner because that's what she sent it for. Sorry, yeah, Dre is in Tucson until he either passes or wakes up. I'm so sorry. So it would be impossible to make sure that 50 that you said, anyways, it's virtual. You know, it's passing through thin air. The money's all going to go together. If she has paid $8,700 to a lawyer and you wanted your money to go to a lawyer, then just think of it like this. She paid $8,700 to a lawyer. That's what we know of as far as months back. This was like updated months ago. At this point, she's probably paid more. Just say, well, probably my money paid for that. Probably my money, my $20, $50 actually did go to a lawyer because she has paid over $8,000 to a lawyer, almost $9,000. It's virtual. You can't watch it as it travels. You know, my thing is, if it would have come out that she never hired a lawyer, ever, then I would be frustrated. Then I would say, what? You know, we were told that she was going to hire a lawyer and I sent money and she didn't even hire a lawyer, then I would be mad. But if I'm like, hey, I sent money for a lawyer, she's paid almost $9,000 to a lawyer, so I'm going to assume some of that was my money. Right, $8,700. No, I don't know if 87. No, I think the retainer was $4,000. That's what it was. Okay, so it was a $4,000 retainer. After that, it was $8,700. Right? Am I right with that? I need to double check. How is Letitia buying them dinner with donations any different from people who give dinners like casseroles to families in these situations? You know what I mean? Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, she sent $150 to Letitia for one dinner, and Justice for All sent $100. Yes, it was for them to get some dinner. Molly has proof. When she did a video, she would show. Yes, I think Molly has done that on at least 2 occasions, maybe 3. Here's money for dinner, get you a nice steak dinner. And Justice for All, I don't think he really announces it that much, but he has as well. Where did the stuff about him being sent to Dre originally come from? The poem, only I've been wondering that. Did Elle Bee write again? Not that I know of. I'm just hearing it through the grapevine that he was sent home. Letitia was sent home. Dre was taking care of him. It got too difficult for her, and then she put him in a long-term care facility. Y'all got to remember, people was calling her job. She got sick. Bills don't stop. Yeah, people literally were calling her job. She was terrified she was going to lose her job because people were literally calling her job, telling her job that she was a scammer. Like, can you imagine a bunch of people through YouTube that don't know you? People you've never met before. start calling your job and tell your boss that you've known for 10 years. They're calling your boss and telling your boss, she's a scammer. You need to fire her. I had that happen to me. I literally had that happen to me. I had somebody call my boss and tell my boss through YouTube. Somebody that knew me through YouTube, really knew me. You know, calls a man that I've known for a couple years now, that I stand side by side with while working. You don't know the real her. And he's like, okay, thank you, bye. And then he's like, yeah, you must not know the real her. I see her in person. I deal with her on a daily basis. You've seen her through, you've never even met her in real life. You know her over the internet, and you may know what other people tell you. I mean, that's wrong to call somebody's job. Yeah, when she finally got to see her son, it happened because of the lawyers. So we know she had a lawyer. Her lawyer was doxxed. Money paid for the lawyer. There's no way you could say that it wasn't your money, because it's virtual money. You know, I mean, it's literally virtual money. So, I mean, how will Letitia know anything if they have no contact with Drake? Through her lawyer. That's how. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out. I did not mean for it to turn into... She really needs to... I really didn't mean for it to turn into all of this. Like, I understand people got questions because this has been turned into such a drama fest, which I don't like. This is a real life. This is a man in a coma who more than likely will never pull through. He has a child. He has family who may never get to see him again. You know, his mama may never get to see him. His daddy may never get to see him. Well, that's why, whatever, when I say things, I say, this is what I'm hearing. I brought this story to my followers months ago, and I don't want to just leave them hanging. It's not like, I'm not just going to not update. Like yesterday, I updated about a story that I hadn't talked about in several weeks. But that's because I didn't have any information. And when I get information, even if it's not solid information, what I'll say is, this is what I'm hearing. If it's been verified, I'll say it's been verified. I know for sure it came from a solid source. I saw proof. If it's not, I'm just going to say, this is what I'm hearing, you guys. Because people have been invested in this story. People have been invested in this. I mean, literally, there were lives every single day for like a month and a half where thousands of people would be on those lives to hear about this story, to talk about this story. No, I don't have to. I'm not updating with assumptions. I'm telling my followers, this is what I'm hearing. This is what is being said. Now, one thing that I posted was a fact. That is a fact that they are trying to fundraise for her. That is a fact that her admin is asking people to donate to Dre McCray because times are hard and she can't go live anymore. There's a vet in a coma, a mother who can't see his son, and y'all worried about money. Are y'all worried about, here's the thing. It's going to be very hard to get solid facts. It's going to be super hard. You want to know why? Dre's not talking. We're literally having to take what we can get, but I'll never sit on this channel and say something is a fact without knowing for sure. But I'm not going to leave my people just hanging on a story that I introduced them to. I'm not, because I have people ask me, have you heard anything on Dre? Have you heard anything on Vaughn? What's going on there? So I'm like, oh, nothing yet. When I hear something, I'll let you know. What I can always say, though, is this is what we're hearing, you guys. This is what we're hearing. So I knew I was going to do a video about that, them trying to fundraise for Dre, and I wanted to go ahead and give the other info that I'm hearing. Yeah, most likely we'll never know the full truth unless Dre decides to speak up. But if you don't like that I can't give 100% facts, if you don't like that I come on here and say, well, this is what I'm hearing, you don't have to click on the video. You don't have to watch. You don't have to subscribe. I completely understand. I mean, I don't know, but if you watch E! News, TMZ, anything like that, a lot of times they'll say what we're hearing. A source has told us. I mean, confirmation can be hard to come by at times, especially in a case like this. But I have a lot of people that I introduced to this story, and I'm not just going to drop them like a hot potato on it. If I am hearing things, I'll say this is what we're hearing. But anyways, you guys, I did not want this to turn into a crazy video live stream. I really didn't. I was hoping that I could just jump on here, give the facts without a bunch of people coming in and trying to make this situation messy, because I don't think that it shouldn't be allowed for a story like this to be made messy. It's just cold-hearted of people to not take into consideration that there is a man in a coma that has a family, and now people's trying to make a big deal out of if somebody ate a steak dinner, possibly on their buck. Well, no, it wasn't on yours. It was on Molly or Justin's, or maybe mine. I don't care. But anyways, I thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. We'll do a few more lives today. I got a football game at 5, homecoming football game, or it may be at 6, but I'm going to double check to see if there's anything else happening with Quentin Simon. If there is any updates on that, we'll come back and discuss that. If not, I got a few other things that we can discuss, but yeah, this isn't going to be the last one. I think I may do 1 or 2 more today. So you guys just keep an eye on my channel. If you're a member, keep an eye on the Discord. I love you guys so much. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you. Oh, thumbs up. Leave a comment if you're watching on replay. Make sure you are still subscribed, because YouTube is really bad at unsubscribing people. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.